morning. Welcome to Viewpoint, your program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. We're going to have personalities and perspectives this morning. I think you're going to enjoy it. I know you're going to enjoy our guest this morning. The reason I let that music go on just a little longer, the other night, James and guest and Judy, Nat King Cole, one of our entertainers of years back, died way too young from smoking. Died in his late 40s from tobacco. But the reason I mention it is I do a program on Sunday mornings called Sunday Morning Swing, and we feature singers like Nat King Cole. And in those days, back in the 30s and the 40s, and even before, when a singer got up to sing at the microphone, they enunciated the words. And there was none of this screaming and groveling around and grabbing various places. They just got up and sang. Nat King Cole was the premier singer when it came to understanding the lyrics of the song. He just clipped off each word, and we just don't have singers like that anymore. Even Frank Sinatra today, although he was very good. By the way, he's the one that sang "Fly Me to the Moon, Let Me Play Among the Stars." All right, let's get serious. Judith K. We have some exceptional guests this morning, and we really appreciate your taking your time to be with us. Go right ahead, Judith K.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. They're going to let you know about an opportunity you can take advantage of for Friday evening. Jonathan Pierce is with us, and he, of course, is Dr. Pierce from Lincoln College, and Bing Wang, and she was here with us just a couple weeks ago, and she is the what shall we call you? The chaperone for the 8 Chinese students that are at Lincoln College. Yeah. And we're awfully happy to have them today to tell us about the Mid-Autumn Festival that's going to take place this Friday at the college, at the Johnson Center at 6 o'clock. So without further ado, would you introduce us to 2 of your dancers you've brought with you, Bing?
And students.
And yes, they are students here at Lincoln College. They were college students in China, but they're taking advantage of a study opportunity here. And we're awfully happy to have you girls. Bless your hearts.
Thank you.
So, Bing, without further ado, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the legend of the Mid-Autumn Festival, which is what you'll be celebrating.
Oh, yes, I would like to, but I think Katrina has more ideas about legend of Mid-Autumn Festival.
Seriously?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Katrina.
Because, she is trying to write a drama which is concerned about the legend of the moon, about the Mid-Autumn Festival, and she is going to perform it in the Mid-Autumn Festival celebration, September 13th.
Yes.
Which is this Friday. And that's why we have you and these young ladies here. We want the public to know about this program this Friday evening at the Johnson Center for the Performing Arts.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity, and a unique opportunity, to see entertainment from another culture.
Yeah.
We think we know all about entertainment here. Well, we don't. There are lots of different cultures who have their own customs, and this Mid-Autumn Festival is particularly a Chinese custom.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to find out about. So go ahead, Professor Wang. Introduce these young ladies, and we're going to give the time. And so go right ahead, please.
Yeah, so Katrina, she is the expert today for introducing the legend related to Mid-Autumn Festival. Please, Katrina.
Okay. Yes, as you know that the moon is the most important symbol in the Mid-Autumn Festival, and I would like to tell a myth about the moon.
Yes.
Yes. It is said that in the ancient times there are 10 suns in total hanging in the sky, and it makes the world dry, full of heat. And when the human being is going to die, a hero called Yi, he came out and he shoot down 9 of these suns. They make the world a peace and love place. And his wife is Chang'e. Chang'e loved Yi very much. After he shooting the suns, the queen living in the sky palace fly down to the human beings and give Yi a gift. It's an elixir. After you eat the elixir, then you can live forever. Yi loved his wife very much also, and he gave this elixir to his wife. But one day some bad guy came. When the Yi is not at home, he asked Chang'e to give the elixir to him so that he can live forever. Chang'e refused. She ate this elixir and fly to the sky, fly to the moon palace, and become the goddess of the moon. And there is only a tree, a white rabbit on the moon. When the moon is full, then she will look down to the ground and find his wife and find his husband. That is the story of the moon. So you can find the picture of Chang'e, the white rabbit, everywhere when the Mid-Autumn Festival is coming. And you can see the poster there, this white rabbit. That's all. Thanks.
This legend indicates that Mid-Autumn Festival is a big day for the Chinese people, the family members to be reunited, to be together. So that is, from that legend.
Now this tradition, this legend, goes back a very long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, to ancient times.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Pierce, I'm sitting here kind of just open mouth in awe of the way the young lady articulated the story. Mainland China, grew up, educated there, and how well she articulated that story in our language. I say, ladies, that we do not speak English well. We speak American. And by that I mean we use what we call slang and colloquialisms that are totally foreign to foreigners. And here this young lady comes in and sits down in front of that microphone and does a lovely job of telling the story. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
They are exceptional. I had the privilege of interviewing them when I was in China, and these 2 students, among about 12 or 13, were qualified to come to the U.S. based on their English comprehension and speaking, listening skills, and they do quite well.
Quite, I'd say.
Well, yes.
Well, when we had you and Professor Wang up here before, Professor Wang, she just like sitting, like Judy sitting next to me, she just comes out with what she wants to say, and it's easily understood.
Yeah, definitely. So we should also introduce Joyce, who's the other student here.
Yes.
And both ladies and our other students are what we call exchange students. So they're taking classes at Lincoln College for credit, but they're not seeking a degree. So 1 or 2 semesters is kind of their plan, and then they'll go back to China. So it's a great opportunity, and we're so excited to have them perform this Mid-Autumn Festival Friday evening, and it's going to be a great performance. We're really looking forward to it.
Now, back at your home in China, is this something that people look forward to and people attend a dance, not unlike the program you're going to present Friday night?
Yes, in China we also, this is the 2nd largest festival in China we celebrate. The number
Second
one
largest.
The number 1 is Spring Festival. Also we call Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year. Okay, and this is the 2nd largest. So in China we have 1 day off.
Oh.
So tomorrow, this is Wednesday. Tomorrow, that's in China, that is a Friday, that's September 13th. everybody, is free of work to celebrate this festival, and usually the family members will get together they try to be together. Even some children live in the other city, they will be home and to have a dinner with the family.
I experienced the Chinese New Year once that we were in Hong Kong, and they ran around with all their dragon costumes and so forth, and ran around the street. It was really interesting.
Yes.
Shot up a lot of film over there. That was before digital started. That's how long ago that was. We're using film in the camera.
Yeah.
Do they plan ahead? They start planning ahead for the Mid-Autumn Festival 3 months ahead to get everything all lined up and planned. Is that how they do that?
You mean?
Well, here, New Year's Eve happens, and it's just a commercial event in my judgment. Little jaundice there, but they don't. I'm not sure how I mean this. See, here I am trying to say something.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Don't worry.
Let me try to interpret it. So,
Dr. Pierce, if you interpret that, we're going to get you a raise.
In preparing for the Mid-Autumn Festival in China, does the community, do families start preparing months ahead of time, or just a week or two before the event?
I think for the businessman, commercial, for the purpose of commercial, they need to make a preparation for that, decorate the stores, the shopping malls, and the mooncakes here and there, some lanterns. So they need to make a good preparation for that out of the commercial purpose. But for the family, we don't need to. Nowadays we seldom make the mooncake by our hands. When I was a child, my mother could make the mooncake at home, but I cannot do that. So we just buy the mooncake in the grocery store. And but anyway, for the
Can you explain that a little bit? Is there anything that would be comparable here that we could get an idea of what this
mooncake
dish is?
Let me do my part, and then I'll let Bing fill in. There's nothing in the U.S. like mooncake. It's a equivalent to a homemade cinnamon roll size.
Okay.
It's about this big around. It weighs about a pound each.
Oh.
They're real heavy, but unlike American pastries that are very sweet, theirs is very lightly sweet, and it's filled with different types of things. So it may be some kind of bean paste, a sweet bean paste, or other fillings, fruit fillings inside. But it's a beautifully baked little pastry. And,
or big pastry, as
it's a big pastry, and they don't eat the whole thing. They cut it and share each little mooncake. So at the festival, for the reception, I bought 5 tins of mooncake. We're going to cut them up and let everybody sample them. So that'll be a fun
Friday night.
Friday night after the performance, we'll actually have samples of the mooncake.
And I see too that there's a question and answer, a Q&A type event following the dance presentation and the Mid-Autumn Festival. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, and that'll be from 7:30 to 8.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, you can ask them of the ladies.
Absolutely.
This is a unique opportunity for people in Logan County to experience another country's culture, because Mid-Autumn Festival is an integral part of your culture, is it not? And so therefore people can come Friday night at 6 o'clock and be out there a couple hours later and have been entertained by a greater understanding of what some of the Chinese cultures are.
Now, when the family gathers for this festival, do you have a traditional meal that you serve? Like, my lineage is Norwegian, and for Christmas, we have very definite things that we serve. Things you look forward to all year. And is it the same with the Mid-Autumn Festival? Do you have special dishes that you serve?
Yeah, the special food is mooncake. And we don't have other special dishes, but we will have, at that night we usually go outside and to watching the moon, because that day the moon is full. We believe that is the brightest day, and it is the longest and brightest. And then we go outside to eat a mooncake and some fruits like grapes, pears, apples, and then we will have some chat with the family members. That is a good way to enjoy the slow life. Yeah. So maybe Joyce would like to talk more about it.
Joyce is.
My generation is different from her generation.
How do you pronounce Joyce's name in Chinese?
乔伊斯.
Yeah.
乔伊斯.
Well, so much for that. I learned that in a hurry. So go ahead.
I think the most memorable thing in Mid-Autumn Festival is that all my families will sit together in the yard at night and we see the moon. And at that moment, we will share a big mooncake. It is really big, this kind. And all my families, about 12 people, can share their own piece of mooncake. And actually, the size of each mooncake is particular. Like my grandparents will have the biggest one, and then my parents, then the smallest I think belongs to my younger cousin. He always cry for the size of the mooncake, so it's just like the little, and he cried, and I gave my piece to him, and my grandparents will give them their mooncake to me, and they happily see I share the mooncake to other child in the family. And I think it's a kind of a family harmony. It's very important in Chinese culture.
Now, it's not as big a festival, though, as the Mid-Spring Festival. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's different from the Spring Festival. It is, we can call it an Autumn Festival. Yeah.
Now, do you have mooncake for the Spring Festival, too?
Spring Festival, no, not mooncake, dumpling all the time.
Okay.
And it's different. China is so big. Joyce is from Shanxi province, and I am from Liaoning province. Yeah, we too from Liaoning province. We just have the mooncake that size, but her hometown maybe that size mooncake. But anyway, their shape is the same. That is wrong. It means the wholeness, means being together. So we have different kind of customs and food. For example, in the Spring Festival, northern people we prefer dumplings, but the southern people maybe they prefer another food that is called a tangyuan. That is a ball. Yeah, so that is different. But for the Mid-Autumn Festival, I think all Chinese people prefer the mooncake, even though the size is different.
But the taste is the same, is that right?
Yes.
If we don't, I'll have Dr. Pierce explain this commercial business to you. We have to have sponsors. They pay for us to talk about your culture today. So we're going to honor our sponsors right now, and we'll get right back live in just a couple of minutes. Right back live in the studios here, WLCN 96.3 on your dial. Program, of course, is Viewpoint, appearing each Wednesday morning, 8:15 to 0900 hours. We're privileged, and I mean that word sincerely, to have Professor B. Wang up here with us a short time ago, along with Dr. Jonathan Pierce. And as a spin-off from that, we wanted to talk about a very special program that's coming up at the college at the Johnson Center this Friday night at 6 o'clock. We're going to, the Chinese students are going to put on a very special program. It's near and dear to them. It's a custom of China. And they're going to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. And so we urge you to come this Friday night, a couple of nights away. And that's exactly why we brought Professor Wang and Dr. Pierce back, so that we could shout a little bit about this program Friday night and encourage you to come. If you don't enjoy it, I'll stand at the door and give you your money back. And that's easily done since the admission is free anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
So there will be, and we're not going to pass the hat. Don't get excited, folks. This is for your entertainment, and it's to show Logan County the advantage of us having international students. Here we have an entirely different culture, and we're happy to have you aboard, ladies. This has been a very nice experience so far. Judith Kay, you were chomping at the bit. Why were you nudging me?
What's the most impressive thing about the Mid-Autumn Festival, would you say? Other than, of course, your family getting together, that would be fun.
I think the food.
The food?
Is, yeah. Besides the mooncake,
Yes.
I really missed the dumplings very much. Actually, I do not like dumplings because in my hometown, people eat dumplings in every meaningful days. So I'm just a little tired of eating the dumplings. But now I just so regret that I not eat that much dumplings before I went there.
You really miss them, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Professor Wang, I'd like to ask the young ladies, is there any unusual experience that they had happen after the time they got over here to continue their studies, their college studies? Not necessarily in the educational world, but some of our customs and so forth. Anything that they didn't expect?
You mean some impressive experience here?
Some odd experience. Some
Different experience.
Odd
Yeah.
experience
Or a
here.
shock, maybe.
Yes. And do you want to talk about some shock experience here? Those experiences you feel a little bit different from those in China?
Oh yes. Yesterday I have a speech class, and some girls, one girl went to in front of the stage, and she started to cry, and it's common in China also. But the teacher, she's very patient and comfort the girl. It's not that common in China for a teacher, take some time to comfort a girl and other classmates just wait. So in China, the teachers maybe let the girl go back to his class desks and continue the class. And I think that's a shock, which is very warm. And I think the faculties in there is so kind and patient, help us a lot.
Do you have a junior college level in China?
Junior college.
2-year.
Junior college.
2 year, yes, we have.
You have 2-year
Yeah,
colleges.
Right, right. At my university, just a 4 year, and 2 years we have the different kind of degrees. We have 4 years we got a bachelor degree, but 2 years, no, it is different.
What do you call that degree then? Associates?
Yeah, I think equivalent to the associated degree.
Uh-huh. Do people, after completing 2 years of education, oftentimes decide to continue to a 4-year program?
Some of them will, but some of them will, choose to work.
May I ask the cost of higher education? does it depend on your family's income whether or not you could attend a four-year school?
Yes, usually depend on the family income, because I don't think compared with the tuition in American college education of China's is so cheap. It's not that expensive. So if both parents work, they could afford the children's college education. So no problem.
Are more and more young people in China deciding to go on to a four-year school, or at least a two-year school?
In fact, some students choose to complete their two-year education, not because their family cannot afford. The main reason is that they don't perform so well in the entrance examination to the college. You know, the score is not high enough, so they have no opportunity to be admitted by the full-year college.
I see.
So they have to go to the 2 years, and then so that is the problem.
Now, you girls, are you in a four-year program? Yes.
Yeah.
You've been very quiet sitting back there in the country, in the corner, and I've forgotten, and I apologize to you, profusely apologize to you, because I dropped your name up here and I can't remember. Thank you. Have you had any unusual experiences from? How's our food here?
Oh, I love the food here.
I personally think that we do a great job out there in serving our students. The menu is just really, it's diversified, and there's plenty of it, and I would like to think that we're treating you well in that department out there. Do you think that to be the case? We have good food?
But no dumplings, huh?
No dumplings.
No dumplings.
It's super, I think, the food.
Go ahead.
What is it that you miss most about not being at home for the Mid-Autumn Festival?
I think it's the food.
The food again.
So the people said when you're going abroad, the first organ that you feel is your stomach. And I know this word exactly now, that I miss the food. My stomach is fighting to me. I need some Chinese food.
Yeah. And what about eating at a Chinese restaurant here? That doesn't do it, does it?
Actually, it's different.
It's
traditional Chinese.
It's what we think of as Chinese food, but it's not really, is it?
But I think the dumplings in the Chinese restaurant here is still okay. It's good.
They're good?
Yeah,
We
I
had
think
dumpling
Oh, that's
in
good.
Spring. China Star.
China
China
Star.
Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
We
good.
first week they were here, we took them to Springfield and went to the state fair. We talked about that last time.
Yes.
And then for dinner I took them to China Star, which is a fairly authentic Chinese restaurant.
It is.
But the way they explained it to me is most American Chinese restaurants are owned and operated by people from southern China.
Yes.
So the southern Chinese cuisine is what typically we experience in Midwest America.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily what they're accustomed to.
And they're more from the northern part, is that right? Uh-huh.
Yeah. But
What's
the
your-
dumplings were good.
Yeah,
The
good.
dumplings were they were authentic.
She's applauding the dumplings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you? How is communication with your families? Is it other than what we call snail mail, which is the United States postal system? Can you communicate with your families electronically on the computer?
Sure.
Wonderful.
Cell phone. Smartphone.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a
WeChat.
There's a communication app, a social media app that's called WeChat. So it replaces Facebook, Pinterest, PayPal. It's an all-inclusive lifestyle app. So they use it to pay, to purchase. They use it to communicate via Skype type situation, and so WeChat is how they communicate with their families.
Why don't we have that here?
I know, right? Yeah.
We should.
It's
yes.
one app that takes care of everything. It's quite convenient.
Yeah. Now, Friday night, how many of the girls are involved in the dance?
How many girls? 8 maybe.
Yeah.
No,
We
8.
have actual foreign friends.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
some
we invited
foreign
2
friends.
foreign American girls.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So there will be 10 of them then?
Yeah, she will dance.
Very good. And how many at home? What if you were at home for the festival? Would you have a dance program such as this?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Not with the family members, but usually for the Mid-Autumn Festival, we have different degree of gala. For example, for Central China television station, we have a national Mid-Autumn Festival gala. It is globalized broadcasted. That means all the Chinese people all around the world could watch it through the television. That is nationwide. And also for the local TV station or broadcast, we have the different level of gala. And also for our university, sometimes we also organize Mid-Autumn Festival celebration. And the girls will dance and a lot of songs, games.
Will there be a lot of singing Friday
yes.
night?
Yes.
Sure.
And it will be the 10 girls who are the dancers who
Yeah.
will do the singing as well.
Yes.
How are the 2 American girls that you invited to join you doing?
Yeah,
Are they working out okay?
Yeah, they are very quick to learn the dancing.
Yeah.
I think they
They are
have some
talented.
talent. Yeah.
I think they do better now.
I noticed
You'll be in costume, is that right?
Sure.
native costume.
Sure. They brought the costume from China. That is a very typical costume of Han Dynasty. Han Dynasty, that means maybe 2,000 years ago. It has almost 2,000 years of history. That kind
Oh
of
my.
costume. Yeah. So
Will the costumes be like, is obi the word that they use for the costumes in China?
it is quite different from the modern
Is it?
dress. It's very
Colorful.
different.
A lot of color.
Yeah, some colors and long sleeves and long dress. Yes, just like a goddess,
Yes.
I noticed, Dr. Percy, we have my young friend Quentin Breckenridge participating with these ladies. Student on campus there that's pretty musical, and apparently that's going to work out differently. So I'm interested to see Quentin up there. He's one of my young friends on the. Well, you're all my young friends on the campus. When I see you on the campus, just wave. I'll say ni hao. That's the best I can do in Chinese.
Well, you're ahead of me.
The
And I think during the Q&A and the reception period, and we can have a very good talk with the community members, and if anybody who has some questions about Chinese culture, and not limited to Mid-Autumn Festival, we would like to share our understanding and our experience about the different aspects of Chinese culture.
Yes. Chinese culture is very ancient, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think we're a big deal because we've been around for 200 plus years. My gosh, you've been around for 200 plus centuries, I think.
Yes.
The young ladies, what are the sizes of your home cities? How big are they?
Like I just said, it's about 12 people, but now it's smaller than the last in centuries, last generations. Because my grandparents have 3 children, but my parents only have me. So the next generation is maybe smaller. Yeah.
Yeah.
城市有多大？
The city? The city in my hometown, or just in my hometown, is bigger than there.
Bigger than Lincoln?
Yeah.
I imagine.
A thought that occurs to me. You're here at Lincoln College, which of course is steeped in the lore of Abraham Lincoln. As college students, our presidents, are they studied at all over there in your culture? We think Abraham Lincoln is a big deal, and he was. He was quite a citizen. And I just wondered if you studied our presidents. Well, some of them we forget.
Yeah. So is it common to study U.S. presidents when you're in school?
Not really.
China?
In China,
In China.
we learned
You
something
just know who they
about,
are.
Abraham Lincoln, George Washington.
Yes. Yes.
Well, yes, yeah.
And also, for my generation, I think I grew up with some American news, and I knew President Reagan and Clinton, George W. Bush, and Obama, and then Trump. So, but we learned some stories about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
When you got to the campus over here in Lincoln, at Lincoln College, what did you think of the dress that the students?
Oh yeah. I think all students here wearing something maybe the same. We all have the shirt print the links. And I love this shirt very much. And at the first day we got here, we also got this shirt. Wow, that's great! I can wear links everywhere and tell them I'm the students of Lincoln College.
She's so dramatic. I just love it.
I'm in the major of theater.
Dr. Pierce has helped us by giving a suggestion too on the questioning. And one thing that we didn't think to cover, Judith K., is what would be the most impressive thing in the Mid-Autumn Festival in China, besides the food? We know the food is very that always comes up. We know. But is there one particular thing about the Mid-Autumn Festival that comes to your mind that you want to tell us about? Go right ahead, honey.
是要问一些关于
想问一些，就是你在中非学时，你最令你印象深刻的某一件事没有？在中国的时候。
Well, the Mid-Autumn Festival is important for me when I was a child. My father, he is a doctor. He's really very busy. He had to save other people's life, and he traveled around my city and maybe don't come back home. I feel hurt. And then during the Mid-Autumn Festival, whatever he's doing, he will come back and take me up to my building or to the flat, and I still can remember, I wear my orange coat, and he hugged me. He let me to see the moon over there. That's my happiness when I was a child.
Yeah. It's very important to him as a father. It's very important for him that you know about the custom of the Mid-Autumn Festival, which is very shows that you're saying that he was away and he'd come back home particularly for that event.
Yeah.
That makes it very important to them then. Yeah.
Does he work at a local hospital then? Is his office at a hospital?
Yes, he can work in the hospital, but he tried to pick the other people which is sick from the far cities that can't have good hospital to save them, and they take them from the little city to the bigger city and to the hospital to make sure everything's fine.
So what we would call a traveling doctor, he actually travels to other cities as well to help care for the patients.
So he must be like a specialist, would you say?
I think we would call him a general practitioner.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Family doctor, family medicine.
Well, let's reiterate before we're out of time, or after we're out of time, as the case may be. The time, place, date, and lack of cost of the program Friday evening.
So it's a free program, Mid-Autumn Festival, this Friday night, starting at 6 o'clock. From 6 to 7:30 will be the presentation, the performance, which will be dance, singing, and poetry recital, as well as some interactive games with the audience. And then at 7:30 to 8, a short question and answer time frame. And then at 8 o'clock, an informal reception where we'll have some cake, but also samples of mooncake for the audience and members to experience.
Compliments of yourself.
Compliments of the college, yeah. And admission is free. There's no cost. We want the community to come and experience something that's totally different from our culture.
Well, if
And it should
memory
be-
serves, there's 300 seats in the Johnson Center, so you better plan to get there in a timely manner.
If there's 300 seats, we're going to run out of cake. But that's okay. That's okay.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. We would welcome that many, sure.
I think that the question and answer period is going to be an interesting part of the evening because it gives, and by the way, you'll have some very dumb questions asked.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
given the electorate being what it is.
Yeah.
But seriously, it would give the students and our citizens here an opportunity to interact a little bit, and it gives us a much better understanding. Why do we have Chinese students on campus here? Well, they're going to find that out. That's the question. Ladies, thank you for giving us your time this morning. We appreciate that. Professor Wang. Thank you, Dr. Pierce. He's the fellow that got this all started. He and Vice President
Dr. Shabazz.
Dr. Shabazz. They went to China some time
He's
ago.
an interesting man, too.
And they came up with some excellent students to represent their countries. We're happy to have you. I just don't know of a better way to put it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for Viewpoint.